Okay, hi everybody. It's Brian Quarry here once again. Today is, I think it's Wednesday, the 12th of February. 2 more days until Valentine's Day, and yeah, I just thought I'd hang around and talk to you about what I've been doing recently. So, in a previous video, I've spoken about the last video job that I did for Hackney Borough Council, which was for the Holocaust Memorial Day, which normally falls on the I think it's the 25th of January, something like that, every year. And that went very well. It's been watched, I think, about 700 times, and it has had multiple likes for what it is. So yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah, I've also got some more video editing and filming jobs in the pipeline. One very soon, and that will be in London for someone's 18th birthday party. So that'll be very interesting. Interesting to me because this person is also a musician, and she's actually going to perform an hour and a half long concert as part of the party. And so her mother told me that she would like that particular segment of the party to be recorded. So that's the reason why I'll be going there. Talking of music, I have invested in another addition to my arsenal. Wait for it. Please welcome the Yamaha Reface CS. What a beauty this thing is. Yeah, so the reason why I invested in this particular keyboard, because I've also got the Reface YC, which is the organ equivalent. And the CS attracted me because I've always liked twiddling around with knobs to get different sounds and so on. And yeah, it isn't hooked up, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have shown you the sounds that this thing is capable of producing. But one of the things that I loved about virtual analog synthesis is that there's a certain purity about the sound. I can recall some time ago when I used to have the Yamaha Motif ES rack, which I used to use with my Korg Triton Extreme. And one of the things about that unit was that there was some expansion ports on it in which you could install these additional expansion boards. One of them was a virtual FMDX sound engine, and the other one was the virtual analog synthesis sound engine based on the Yamaha AN1X or something like that. The other board was based on the Yamaha DX7, which came out around the 1980s. And they were absolutely great sounding boards. The problem was to do with editing the sounds because of the interface on the ES rack itself. Editing the sounds was not easy at all, and so it wasn't really um, it wasn't really a good idea to hang on to them really if all I'm going to do is to tinker about with presets without actually getting into the unit for editing. So because of that, after I'd say about a year, I sold them off, and I sold the ES rack unit. That was before I bought the Motif XS keyboard many years ago, which has now since been sold off as well. And so I was thinking to myself recently, you know what? I'm kind of missing those sort of sounds. So I decided to get the Reface CS, and the other little keyboard that I bought, which was before that, was the Reface YC, which is inside of this case. So very soon I'll be getting one of these cases for the CS. So that should be within the next couple of days. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So apart from that, I have been spending a lot of time over the last, I'd say, month or so, just educating myself regarding things like motion graphics and so on. In fact, I've been getting accustomed to using something called DaVinci Resolve. which is another editing package, another video editing package, but it also has motion graphics and all of those other things built in. It's a bit like the Adobe suite, except that it's not um, it's not spread it's not spread across several programs. Like for instance, with the Adobe suite, you got Adobe Premiere, you got Adobe After Effects, you got Adobe Lightroom, and all those other applications. Whereas with DaVinci Resolve, you've got all of those functions in the same program, which is great. I've also been using Vegas Effects quite a lot as well. Vegas Effects is Vegas Pro's equivalent to the Adobe Creative Suite, in which you've got Vegas Effects. It's also called Vegas Post. Sorry, in fact, I think Vegas Post is the more appropriate term for it. So you got Vegas Effects, which is After Effects, but Vegas Pro's equivalent. You've also got Vegas Image, which is Vegas's equivalent to Lightroom or something like that, or Adobe Photoshop. And yeah, it's just those two programs that also come along with Vegas Pro. And I've been using a lot of that, producing very professional looking motion graphics and transitions. And when I don't feel like shooting video, that would be the next thing that I would do, and that would be to work on my motion graphics and the way that my videos are presented with titles and graphics and so on. Another reason why I've took that up is because I've got a video that I should have completed last year, and the video clips were shot by various members of the audience, and unfortunately, the quality of the video clips did not look that great. But I was still editing it because I said that, yeah, I'll do that. And so I'm thinking to myself, well, even though the video clips themselves don't look that great, you could still improve on the presentation of the whole package by, you know, improving the motion graphics and those sort of things. Yeah, so all is well, all is good. Today I've been jamming with my CS again, and I'm telling you, I was actually jamming along to some YouTube videos. I was jamming along to songs by Victor Leman, who is the composer of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And there was another video clip that I was jamming to, but I can't remember who it's by or what it's called. But anyway, I must have spent I'd say about 4 hours just doing that, just playing on these little keys. I treat playing these instruments, even though they are keyboard instruments, I treat them as if I'm playing something completely different. I mean, take for instance the Reface YC, which is based on a drawbar organ. When you're playing on an organ, it feels different. It is different because unlike playing on the piano, you don't have a sustain pedal, so you've got to hold down the keys as you're playing. Most people tend to play the organ when they're playing block chords, but for me, I'm trying to like, you know, do those little organ runs that people do on Hammond organs and that sort of thing. One day I'll get there. One day, fingers crossed. With the CS is a synthesizer. Again, there are elements to it in which you use it for sculpting sounds as you're performing. You could play organ style if you want to, or you could even play as a piano, in that when you're adjusting the attack, decay, sustain, and release portions of the sound, if you increase the release portion, it adds a fade away every time you press a note. So it adds like a release portion, so it feels like you're playing a piano. Only thing is, it's not velocity sensitive unless you're hooking it up to a synth module or a VST on Cubase or whatever. Yeah, but my word, today I've had probably the most inspiring jam session I've ever had. And the thing is, I don't normally jam by myself at all. Never. I never saw the quality or the value in that. But I suppose when you're in a situation when your musician friends aren't always around, and you know, you feel like you want to play, that's probably the next best thing to playing in a live band. And I am grateful for that. So, yeah, it is what it is. All right, then. This was Bryan Quarry signing off. Have a good one, and thanks for listening. See ya.